I think that this is not an accident. It is deliberate.
Mm.
I think the reason why right wingers dominate social media starts back in 2015 when they started making huge investments in media companies on social media platforms and nonprofits to prop up right wing influencers. And the right did this really around the world. I think it's because in mainstream media they obviously had no place. They had no think tanks. All of these more formalistic institutions were not areas of political expression for this like really nationalist extreme right. And so where could they express themselves on social media? And they started to develop communities there. And they figured out how effective this was and started getting big money behind them. And they got these organizations, people know them, the Daily Wire, TPUSA, PragerU, et cetera, et cetera. These organizations lifted up tons of people which used to be nobodies, blasted them out in front of tons of people, largely often using advertisements to get their message initially out, and grew the audiences of these different creators who each, whenever they became independent, were sufficiently sized to monetize their viewership and become financially self-sufficient so they could continue to create content. And as this went on, there became more right-wing organizations and more creators doing this, and it's a constant churn of new creators. And not only are there more creators, but there's actually more viewers, right? Because these guys, it's not like everyone's static. There's just a certain number of right wingers which watch these shows. There's a lot of apolitical people that started watching this content and got radicalized by it. I know two people in my life which started out as Democratic leaning up independents, and now they're fully far right. They only watch right wing content. It's because of social media, right? So they have this huge army of influencers. If you look across platforms and you try to rank political accounts, you try to tabulate the number of Republican aligned large political accounts, it's just completely outweighs Democrats in over almost every single platform except for maybe Instagram and TikTok. And even TikTok is like surprisingly not Democrat leaning. The Republican presence on there is really extraordinary, which is very strange given the demographics. So this is deliberate. It's a huge problem. Now you mentioned a different point, which is, well, maybe the algorithms actually give them an advantage. And I think the algorithms give an advantage to extreme messages,
Yep.
controversial messages. But that doesn't always mean right wing. You can have extreme controversial messages that are from the left. Now, do we want a world in which the left dominates with extreme controversial messages? Probably not. Like it's not ideal either. But the skew, I think, is a strategic issue. Algorithmic content itself, the entire system of social media, I think, is destructive to democracies around the world, and that's why you see institutional decline all over the place. Now, to change that, you need laws or responsible social media companies. I think both are very unlikely, like really, really unlikely. And so I don't really worry about that question, but it would be nice. I mean, you look at Blue Sky. Blue Sky doesn't have an algorithm, and that's part of the reason why nobody uses it. Because while algorithms are terrible for democracy, they're also great for entertainment. It turns out people make social media choices based on entertainment.